Welcome back, Nick Lenz Comic Corner, Classics / Non-Classics, episode number 308 and Doubleshot number 239. Okay, first up, a DC book. Justice League, Volume 6 in Justice League, written by Jeff Johns and artwork by Doug Mahnke and Jason Fabok. Now, this book collects issues. Where is it? It's not on the back yet. Look inside here. This book contains, and there's a lot of issues in here, collects issues 30-39. This book is really thick. There's like 10 issues in here, which I kind of get why they put both story arcs in here, because they kind of feel like two continuous stories, two back-to-back stories. The first story arc is called Injustice League, where it's right after the events of Forever Evil, and Lex Luthor is publicly recognized as a hero, and apparently Shazam joins a panel. Go figure. As for if Captain Cold, now Captain Cold is apparently on the roster, but in these issues, he is never seen on the roster at all. Despite the fact of being promoted in some books that Captain Cold is on the roster, even though he actually really isn't. Not in this book, anyways. Especially not during Darkseid War. Lex is on the roster. Captain Cold isn't. Maybe it happened like one other book I saw where Captain Cold is on the roster, but yeah. And Flash somehow is off the team when Captain Cold's on there. It's a bit bizarre, but here, Captain Cold's on the team. Flash is on the team. Now, a lot of the story arcs, two story arcs, pretty much is continuing from right after events of Forever Evil. And a lot of it's build up toward Darkseid War. Pretty much during Justice League, it's like, oh, let's just hunt down the Sacred Side suit villains, just deal with Lex Luthor being recognized as a hero, and the return of the Doom Patrol. Yep, which is the original Doom Patrol with Element Woman. First time anybody has seen this woman since Forever Evil. And apparently she is blackmailed to join the team because, Niles Cordair, Jeff Johns writes him how Grant Morrison wrote him as a complete jerk. I'm not kidding about this. A lot of people probably make this comparison that Jeff Johns writes Niles Cordair, aka the Chief, like how Grant Morrison wrote him, as a complete jerk. And also the guy who was responsible for turning Doom Patrol the way they are. Now the lineup for this one, aside from the Chief, is just Negative Man, Robot Man, and Elastic Woman. Pretty much it's the original four members of Doom Patrol with Element Woman. And the whole point of the first story arc is simply to go after Power, I think it's Power Lantern, I think her name is. Power Ring, yeah. The new Power Ring, Jessica Cruz, who is pretty much the main focus of the arc. And of course, in the second part of the story, well, you have a scene between Lex Luthor and Bruce Wayne, where Lex tells him that he tells Bruce that he does know that Bruce Wayne is Batman. He denies until he blows up the clock tower. Not the clock tower, the clock that goes down to the room. Now, he thinks that's not the one, so he doesn't go down there, but it's a nice little nod. And it's nice to see Alfred in the Justice League book. And they do take down Power, they do stop Powering. And the Doom Patrol, for some reason, it's never really explained why, but apparently, they're agents of Argus. I'm kind of like, okay, I don't get why. After this, the Doom Patrol was never seen again. Well, until they show up in their own book recently. Well, this lineup anyways. Yeah, and apparently the lineup they had before, which is comprised of the second generation, the second lineup from the one that started in the late 70s up until the mid 80s, the one Paul Kepperwork started, minus Robot Man. Yeah, apparently they pretty much all faked their deaths in order to get away from Niles Cordair. Yeah, apparently Lex revealed this. Apparently he has a history with Niles Cordair. Okay, fine. And then that one issue which features the Doom Patrol in action trying to take down the Power Ring. The Justice League are there as a cameo, and Cyborg doing anything of that issue. But overall, that was a good story arc in itself. The Amazing Virus is just a continuation of right where the previous arc left off, like where Lex is on the Justice League and they're supposed to expose him for any crimes he may have committed to get him arrested. And the Amazing Virus gets let out, and at the end, the guy who's Patient Zero becomes New Mazo. Overall, these two story arcs are really, really good. Let me show some artwork from here. yeah, really, really good artwork. I should also mention Robot Man, after this particular story, does return in the pages of Legends of Tomorrow as a supporting character in the Metal Man feature. As for the rest of the team itself, they're never seen again. Not even Alice Corday are seen, though they do have them appear in the Doom Patrol comic published by Young Animal Imprint. But the issues in here are very good. 9 out of 10. Awesome. I highly recommend it. And of course, the ending does kind of lead to Darkseid War. Alright, next up is All New Inhumans, Volume 1, Global Outreach. This book contains the first 4 issues of the series, All New Humans, and material from All New Different Point 1. Written by James Amos and Charles Shaw. Now, I should also mention Charles Shaw just does these 4 issues, and then James Amos does the rest of the series, because they just ended the series last week after 11 issues, which means that this is like volume 1 of 2. Now, the lineup for this group is quite ingenious. Pretty much what Shaw and Amos do is that they take Crystal and Gorgon, 2 familiar characters, make them pretty much the highlight characters of the series, with new characters Shaw introduced in the Inhumans series. You have Inferno, this is Flint, and this woman, Nydia. Yeah, he brings those 3 characters from the Inhumans series. Plus, they actually have an actual. Oh, and this book they introduce a new character. This woman right here. This woman right here, who apparently is kind of like the secretary for the ship, and they pretty much this whole point of the series is that they go around the world trying to protect Inhumans. And this is their ship that they go around in. Yeah, they spent the whole series with this very ship. And it's called the RIV. Yeah, that's what it's called. It's called the RIV, and there's these spires that pop up. Now it says, oh, not without Spider-Man's help. Okay, that is a complete lie, because the issues that he appears in are not in this trade. And this trade is really short. It's like 4 issues of a series and a story from another series. My only disappointment for this trade is that they don't include the 2-part that features Spider-Man. Even though, yeah, it says Spider-Man on the back cover, like Spider-Man's going to be in the book, that is a complete lie. Because all they put in here is the first 4 issues, which comprise the first story of the series. Now, as for why they ended this series, I don't know. James Amos is doing a series now for Boom. Right now, I don't remember the name of it, but he is doing a series of that. But as for Marvel, he's doing nothing for Marvel right now, because they just ended the series. I was shocked to see that the series was going to end. I found this out to finish reading issue 10. The next issue was going to be the final issue of the series. Now, I don't get why this series had to end. Why people weren't buying it because Marvel was pushing Humans more than pushing the X-Men. That's a possible, but this is such a good series, and I'm gonna show off some artwork. Now, there's a few different artists on here. For the Point 1 and the first issue on Humans. Pretty much this is the same guy who does everything. His name is Sevedo Cali. I think it's how you pronounce the guy's name. I'm sorry if I mispronounce it. But he's the one who does the artwork in here. And the whole point of the Point 1 issue, the All Know Different Point 1, that is just a simple crystal story that kind of helps set up the series. That's really all it is. My only disappointment, besides not including the 2 issues featuring Spider-Man, is that they don't include the backup feature from issue 1 of Inhumans, which does help kind of set up the series. And I'm kind of like, why didn't Marvel put that in here? It just seems so bizarre they didn't put it in here, but they didn't. They didn't put it in here. Yeah. It says, oh, they won't make it out. Yeah, whole thing with the spires. Yeah. The spires are never seen in this entire trade at all. So, if you're just reading this series from the trades, you're going to be kind of disappointed because you're expecting Spider-Man. You won't see him to Volume 2, which will probably contain issues 5 through 11 anyways. Maybe the backup feature contain Inhumans number 1. But the issues in here are really good. It's just the trade is kind of disappointing. But I do give the book a 9 out of 10. I do recommend it. Okay, that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode, which is episode 309, and Doubleshot number 340. Okay? So, no, 240. Okay? So until then, I will see you there. Bye.